Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am Lee, and I am glad to be here, and I am grateful to be here. Culture. When you hear the word culture, what comes to mind? A lot of people immediately think of the arts. Other people may think of Blue Jeans Friday. The definition that I like best, and I've kind of manipulated a little bit, but the definition that I like best is great culture is great decision making. If you look at a great company that has great culture, they know how to make great decisions and repeat them. The same is true with a family, and the same is true with an individual. Great culture engenders the ability to repeat great decisions. Would you be interested in knowing what I consider to be 5 ingredients that will contribute to great culture or even better decision making? There's 5. Number 1 on my list is beliefs, 2 is gratitude, 3 is vision, 4 is principles, and 5 is priorities. Let's talk about them just a little bit. So first is beliefs. You know, beliefs transcend just the thought. It comes from the heart. Beliefs are grounded in the question of, why am I here? And where am I going? In other words, your vision of the future is something that you want to be able to articulate, to feel. If you can't say it, you want to feel it. You know that it's bigger than what you're currently doing. It's bigger. There's a purpose to everything that you're doing. And we constantly strive to reinforce that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is gratitude. You know, 43 years before Christ died, Cicero said, gratitude is the mother of all virtues. Now, think about it. I've had the opportunity of working with some amazing families. I've had the opportunity to study families that have struggled, that have fallen apart. And in my work, if I could identify one word that would describe why families fall apart, that one word would be summed up in gratitude. If they have strong gratitude throughout the generations, families thrive. If gratitude is lacking, then just the opposite. They don't survive. And so gratitude is such an important part. Okay, the third thing is vision. And not just a vision. It has to be a vision that not only tells you where you're going, but that it also allows you to be able to see it, to be able to feel it, to know what is bigger. And so, and you have to be able to state it. For example, a good example of a vision statement might be something like, in all that we do and wherever we may go, we believe in leaving that place better than when we got there. Why? So that others may experience more joy, happiness, and meaningfulness. Imagine that being your why. This is why we live as a company, or maybe this is why we live as a family or as an individual. Okay, then that's got to be based upon principles, not just principles, but principles that are based upon virtuous values, moral values, that are developed and continue to develop from our experiences, the stories, the narrative. And when you capture those stories and the lessons behind them and name them, then you got a handle that can be passed on and will make each of us better decision makers, and the next generation even a greater decision maker than we are if we do capture it. Same in work. We've had so many experiences in our work. You want to teach your employees how to make great decisions? Capture the experiences of great decisions, identify that process, and build it into your company and share it so that others can learn how to become better decision makers. Priorities. 5th one is priorities. The ability to say no to the very important because you have a bigger essential burning inside. When you understand the other 4 ingredients that I just talked about, you have a burning essential inside, and it gives you the power to say no to even the very important. And that's really our challenge today so much. It's not saying no to the unimportant. That's easy. It's when things are very important, and if we don't have that bigger essential, we're going to be doing things that are not leading us to our priorities, to our essential. So those are the 5 that I'd like to share with you. You know, in our family, years ago, we built a mantra to help us, and we built it around the word powerful. It started out becoming like Browers are powerful, but when you have lots of girls, it's not only Browers are powerful, but Watsons are powerful, Rasmussens are powerful, Claussens are powerful, Metaniches are powerful and Larsons are powerful. And so, but they can take and modify it to themselves. So what is powerful? Powerful stands for prayerful, obedient, worthy, eternal, reverent, forthright, understanding, and loving. Okay? And the idea is that each family unit can find their own experiences around it that prove to them so they have better decision making. And what does it mean to be prayerful? What does it mean to be obedient or worthy, eternal, reverent? Reverent, what does that mean? It means that we revere, we respect our flag, we revere, we respect elders, we revere, we respect our country. You know, what are the stories that identify that? And then name it. Prayerful, for example. I give you one story. I've shared it with some of you before. But this is so powerful to me that what does it mean to begin in prayer? You know, prayer is something that's essential. So I'm riding with my 4-year-old son, Nate. We're going across the southern part of Idaho, and we see a semi-truck on fire on the other side going the other direction. A few cars had stopped. One emergency vehicle was there, but flames were engulfing that entire cab of that semi. And Nate's eyes were about this big. I mean, they were just like, whoa, what's going on here? He goes, Dad, shouldn't we stop? And I said, well, son, I don't think we'd be much help now. We're passing it. We're going the wrong way. By the time we turn around, there'll be other people there taking care of them. He says, well, what should we do? I said, I don't know, son. What do you think? And he said, we should say a prayer. I said, well, okay. I'm driving. Why don't you say it? So he bows his head and he says, Heavenly Father, please bless that truck driver. That if he's dead, he'll go to heaven. And if he's alive, he'll get a new truck. From the mouth of babes, right? So that's one of our experiences that's an example of what do we mean by being prayerful. And so 7 years ago, Lori made the shadow box, and you can see from it, I don't know if you can see it or not from there, but down, over here it says powerful. And that sums up prayerful running across here. Prayerful, obedient, worthy, eternal, reverent, forthright, understanding, and loving. And then that's the 4, but with a symbol by it. And each one of our kids has their own shadow box, and I hope it's hanging in their home someplace. Thank you for letting me share this with you. I truly am fixated on the concept of decision making and focused on how can we all become better decision makers. Enjoy this time of year. Thank you for being with me. I do look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.